if you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. But I watch the fake news, and he's weaponized. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot. Who would have thought it turned out to my favor? Because it was a good shot. When I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon, I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. I said, the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon.
So here's what I did. I took the best of the best, okay? The announcements, the interactions with reporters, the laughs, the chuckles, and the sitting at the edge of your seat to hear what the heck the president is about to announce. Took all of that from Trump's latest press conference and put it into this video and condense it to the best of my ability so that you can be entertained for the entire duration. All I ask in return is for you guys to hit the like button. We're going to watch this together, and it's going to be absolutely hilarious because the interactions that Trump has with these reporters is unlike any other president or, frankly, politician is able to have. Then President Trump goes on to talk about Gaza, America's military interaction with Gaza or lack of, America and Trump, America and China, America and Russia. Also, more importantly, we now know how serious of a threat Iran truly is. And it's pretty laughable. It's actually freaking funny. Even Trump starts laughing his ass off. So again, all I ask, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started.
What were the conversations like with Prime Minister Modi and the other?
I think they were great. He reported to me that he's a great man, Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay? But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country. And every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time, and he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process, but the process is going to be over with soon. And all we want from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukrainians and stop killing Russians, because he's killing a lot of Russians. Again, it doesn't make him look good. It's a war that he should have won in 1 week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good. But he could make a settlement. We're willing to settle. I thought we had a deal. The hatred of the two leaders is very, it's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. There's no question about it. But I thought we had a deal 2 months ago. Who would think I created peace in the Middle East
before Russia,
and can't get the two guys to settle? But I think we'll get them. But if India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier. And they're not going to buy. They assured me they will. Within a short period of time, they will not be buying oil from Russia. And they'll go back to Russia after the war's over.
And so here you go. He's solved the war in the Middle East, and I firmly believe that Trump, in the next 12 months, will also solve the war between Russia and Ukraine. Look, it's getting out of hand, right? It's costing countries so much money. Nobody wants this. It's ridiculous. Just shut up, go home, go back to working on your economies, and let's get back on track here. We're trying to focus on the bigger picture for all of humanity, which is, going to Mars, not blowing each other up. That'd be a phenomenal start. Not in any particular order, but hopefully starting with the not blowing each other up phase. That would be really great. So again, the deal maker himself, President Trump, I'm like so confident that he's going to do it. He already did what the impossible seemed to be, which was getting all those hostages home.
You see that beautiful plane, that B-2? I noticed it on the desk. I always thought it was beautiful, but I never understood it. Now I understand it. It took in hundreds of thousands of bombs in the form of 2, but hundreds of thousands of pounds of bombs. And every single bomb hit perfectly. Then they sent Tomahawks in. They sent 30 Tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as Trump said, because I said obliterated. Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very... Think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon. The moon was low for a reason. What time we picked it. Couldn't see anything. And they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. The flying wing.
But you still see no reason for the U.S. military to get involved in Gaza?
No, I don't see that. No, I think we're going to handle it very well. We'll be helping Israel. But we have other countries that are now. You know, we signed, many countries signed. And many of those countries relatively are very strong military powers. And Hamas has no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran, and now Iran says, don't get us involved. The last time they got them involved didn't work out too well. So they used to have the support of Iran. Today, Iran they're trying to survive. You know,
yeah.
When I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon, I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. I said, the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon. It didn't work out. And if they did a nuclear weapon before they got even close, that site would be attacked and it would be wiped out.
I love this so much, man. We are so blessed to have President Trump running America right now, because no other president ever talks about other countries like this. If Iran wants to make another nuclear weapon, they're going to have to face America in full force. Way worse than what they've already experienced. They don't want that. Nobody's going to want that. No country in the world can sustain America's military in a short amount of time or in a long period of time. And of course, Iran is no longer wanting to back Hamas because they just signed a deal. They just got their asses handed to them in the middle of the night with one of the greatest military operations that ever occurred by the United States. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. America is truly back on top in its golden age. I love this.
Mr. President, you're meeting with President Xi in a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We were making a good deal, and then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? 2 nuclear powers we are thinking about. I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here 2 weeks ago, said that man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive tariffs, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country.
I hate it when Trump gets all the criticism from mainstream media that he's, a warmonger and just all the, the misinformation about Trump, all the smear campaigns. He truly is one of the greatest deal makers that we have ever seen. And 30 years ago, literally everyone who criticizes him now, all the mainstream media, they glorified him. Back in 30 years ago, saying he was the best businessman they'd ever seen, the way his brain worked, the way he was making all these deals. Hey, he should run for president one day. He's so good at what he does. He was able to outsmart government, that he got in government and outsmarted everyone in the entire world. He's phenomenal at what he does. And he's showing right now truly how good he really is. And he's literally suppressing World War III from ever happening with tariffs. Who would have thought? It's phenomenal. How can you not like this guy?
Because if we don't win that case, we will be a weakened, troubled financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world. And all we're doing is using them as a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to charge. We're allowed to do whatever we want. We just had presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars, I would say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them. Wow. 5 or 6. Without the tariffs, you have wars raging all over the world. With the tariffs, other than Russia, we have no wars out there. And we've made a lot of good friends, too. Tariffs are so important to our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we don't have national security. Our country would suffer a level that, because they use so strongly on us. As an example, the European Union, they won't take our cars, they won't take our agriculture, they won't take anything, but they send their cars in, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, by the millions. We don't send any cars. They don't take them. They were tariffing us out. Agricultural products, they don't take our agriculture. They want their farmers to do it. I understand that. But it was very unfair, and they were tariffing our product. They're keeping out by using tariffs. And we didn't use them, but I used them. And now we made one of the great deals with Europe. $650 billion they pay us. And we've evened it out. It's really a good thing to see. And you have to understand, they've all signed. Japan, South Korea. South Korea, $350 billion up front. Japan, $650 billion. And they've all agreed to it. They're all happy. But before, it was a total ripoff. And if we don't have the use of tariffs, we have no national security. This country will have no financial security, will not have national security.
I love this. I love it. Tariffs work. They've always historically worked. Let Trump use the tariffs and make America great again. It's working, literally, right in front of our eyes.
I want to bring up the details, but I watch the fake news, and he's weaponized. And he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot. Yeah. Who would have thought it turned out to my favor? Because it was a good shot. But I had to take a mugshot. It's right out there on the door. New York Post, front page of every paper in the world. I had a mugshot. They wanted to send me. Nobody says that. They say he's acting very, very tough. He's acting unfair. Let me tell you. If they've been nice to anybody, it's to those criminals, because they are so good having to do with all of the things we're talking about today with violent crime. But if anything, I think this Justice Department has been so respectful of the law, because the other Justice Department with Rita or Lisa and all of that scum, real scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low, okay? It was descending rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent, is legendary, worse than any third world country, banana republic. And what we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment, at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know, they say the two worst treated presidents by the media, etc., was that man right there, the late, great Abraham Lincoln, and this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terribly. They give him number one and number two, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number one times 10. Nobody's been treated like I've been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in history, etc. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part, we had a horrible thing called COVID. And we handled that well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. We did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job, but we had to focus on that. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. It hit another all-time high today. That's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our country. And they understand that. So we have medical companies coming over. We have the AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating.
And it's going to continue to happen. All that needs to happen is to allow Trump to continue to make America great again, continue to put the pressure on China, continue to let him make those deals. And the Democrats need to reopen government and stop this useless shutdown so that President Trump can get back to being the greatest president of all time. He's literally changing America for the better right now in a time where every other country that is somewhat of a superpower is trying to dethrone America. You have people that are trying to shift to BRICS and get away from the American dollar. It's crazy what's going on right now. And this is where this is where empires start to collapse when they're at this fork in the road. And if they don't let Trump fix this, then you're stuck with somebody like Joe Biden. And look how that turned out. Or hopefully never it happens, but Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's not somebody that we want running the world's most powerful country. But Trump, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in another video. Bye for now.